is how, right? How can we offer this? Okay, I want to show you quickly a very simple company to look at. Okay, Crocs, right? We all know Crocs. They make wonderful slippers. Okay, their goal, they have an offer. They have a mission to provide comfortable slippers to people, and with that, they offer. You know, Crocs. People enjoy them. People wear them. They're comfortable. So they, you know, that's their mission is to provide comfortable slippers. Their offer is comfortable slippers. Okay, and then they'll go and do that market research and, you know, get an idea of who their market is. But let's focus on how are they going to offer this. Okay, the how building block in the model typically focuses on resources. Ahuva Gersten, I see you have a quick question.
Yeah, I was wondering, based on what you were just saying regarding alternatives.
Okay.
Is that for most of us nonprofits, most of our target population do not have alternatives, and that's the reason why we were established. So how do you address that?
Let's take the Special Children's Center. Okay, tell me in a snapshot what the mission is. You know, one sentence. What's the mission?
To provide respite and support services to families and special needs children and special needs children who are in need of services.
Okay. Now tell me in a snapshot. Let's say one program you offer, you know, to address that mission.
Our after-school program, which children come straight after school. They stay here. We feed them dinner. They get bathed. We have recreational activities for them.
Okay. Okay. Without the Special Children's Center, okay, I bet that these kids can probably go to a local, you know, in Lakewood we have the community center. Now, again, don't get me wrong. The alternative that they have doesn't even come close, doesn't even come anywhere near the services that the Special Children's Center offers, but it's an alternative. Mm-hmm. It's an alternative.
I hear. So
it's
you
not
take into account every alternative, even ones that necessarily are much more inferior, but when you're doing such an analysis.
Exactly.
Can I interject something?
Sure. Who's this, Jay?
You need to think of it in terms of, I think it's just a general, perhaps a little bit of a mistake that nonprofits make that there aren't. Depending on what specific service or services you provide, almost always, invariably, there's someone that's offering an alternative. You know, certainly we all like to think that our services, you know, are the best and we have the best staff, etc. And what could be that your total package is unique, but not every parent is always looking for your full range of services. Or you could have clients that only want a specific service or set of services, not everything that you offer. I think it's a very good idea, especially in today's economic time, even if you don't have direct competition, but to approach the business model as if you do.
Mm-hmm. I hear. Okay, thank you.
All right. Anybody else? Okay. Okay. So let's go. Crocs. Okay. Let's take a look at Crocs. Okay. Atay, I see you have your hand raised. Is that a question?
No, not at all.
Okay. Let's take a look at Crocs. Okay. What resources, how can they provide this offer to the market? What resources are they going to need? Okay. So we know they're going to have to manufacture the Crocs. They're going to need some sort of medium to distribute them. They're going to have to market them. They're going to need office space. And they'll need personnel. Right? Look, you know, I know that Crocs, you know, Crocs typically have become pretty formal, right? You know, we can wear them to weddings already, and you know, it's pretty. But there has, you know, I'd assume taking a look at it and, you know, walking into a wedding and see a guy wearing Crocs on his feet, I'd assume that, you know, some alien figured out some brilliant marketing scheme to get it. But believe it or not, there are actually real people behind Crocs, and there are actually real geniuses that figured out the precise comfort zones of a foot, and I think they're phenomenal. I really do. But there are people there that do it, and those people are going to need office space. Those people answer the phones. Those people take care of vendor payments. Those people take care of marketing the product. They take care of distributing the product. So this is how Crocs is going to establish their presence in the market. These resources is what they're going to need. Now, a snapshot, agency resources can be looked at in 4 categories, okay? We have the physical categories. That's going to be the desk, the chair, the office. Actually, the plastic that they're going to need to manufacture it. The next is going to be financial resources, right? They're going to have to lay out money to their vendors. They're going to have to lay out money for the, for the marketing. They're going to have to pay for the office space, the rent. Next is intellectual. There was, somebody smart figured out that, way to make the, the slippers comfortable, right? That's intellectual. That's an intellectual resource. And social resources are what, the relationship between the company and their target market. Is it a one-on-one relationship? In other words, every time you buy a Croc, do you have a specific sales rep? These are the four resource categories that every agency survives on. Another interesting thing in social resources, by the way, is social media, which is slowly becoming more popular, and that involves a following on Twitter or following on Facebook or that kind of stuff. Just as a side note. So these are the resources. Okay. The 4th building block in the model is expenses. Okay. Expenses for nonprofits are broken down into 3 categories. We have program expenses, we have administrative expenses, and we have fundraising expenses. Okay, program expenses is going to be what do we need? What does the program cost, right? Let's take a soup kitchen, right? We're going to have to provide, the food for the people that come in. We're going to have to provide, a chair for them to sit down on, maybe even an oven to heat up the food. That's going to be program expenses. Administrative expenses. We have to pay salaries. We have to pay rent. We have to pay for, website hosting, computers. We have to pay for all that stuff. And fundraising expenses would be either we're hosting a charity event, we're hosting some sort of fundraising event or whatnot, or even a grant writer theoretically can be a fundraising expense. Okay, so those are the key areas of expense management of expenses in the building block. Okay, revenue. That's the 5th and final building block in the model is revenue. Okay, so again, we have revenue, we have potential revenue from the sponsor and from the recipient of the offer. Okay, I want to show you guys quickly how this works. Okay, Georgian Court University. Okay, we all know Georgian Court University. It's located here in Lakewood. It's actually on a, on a roughly 150-acre estate that was owned by the 1870s railroad baron Jay Gould. Just as a side note, I want to tell you guys something very interesting. Warren Buffett today is probably the wealthiest man we know, right? Pretty much that's the standard. Jay Gould, in his time, at the time of his death, actually was the 7th wealthiest man in America. Okay? Now, do any of you know what one thing that Jay Gould and Warren Buffett had in common? I'll tell you. Okay? They both held serious positions. They both invested very heavily in Union Pacific. So if you guys are ever looking where to put your, your extra cash or whatever it is, just keep this in mind. Union Pacific may be a good place. It definitely helped Jay Gould, definitely helped Warren Buffett. So, but at any rate, Georgian Court University, they provide education, right? Who do they provide the education to? They provide it to students, right? So the recipient of the offer is the students. In addition, they're providing education to all the to the sponsors of all the Title I programs, right? So theoretically, we can say that they're, in addition to providing education to the students, they're providing a service, they're providing a program for the sponsor, right? The federal government wants us to be educated. They want us to get somewhere in life. They want to build a workforce. They want to build an economy. So they sponsor education. So they're providing a service for the sponsor and the recipient of the offer. What happens? Revenue from both. Okay, so there you go. We have the students will pay, the students will pay registration fee, they'll pay maybe lab fees, they'll pay for the books, they'll pay for, right? And then then the government, they'll pay they'll pay tuition and whatnot. And then in addition, you'll have grants to support a lab. You'll have grants to support, grants just to support the school. So there you go. That's revenue from both. Okay. Now, I just want to mention something very quickly. Okay. The mission statement, again, we said that every program service will be modeled based on based on the agency's mission, right? Every offer will be modeled based on the agency's mission, okay? But the mission statement, in addition to being used as modeling the program, you can model the actual growth of the agency, okay? I want to show you how this works. Let's take a made-up nonprofit, Love the Animals Corp. Okay, their mission is to provide love to the animals of the universe. Okay, hold on. Is everybody? We have some static on the line. Just want to make sure. Okay. Let me just see. Hold on. Let me just see if we can get rid of that. Okay, guys. Right, their mission is to provide love to the animals of the universe. The CEO of this company is Bugs Bunny. Okay, Bugs Bunny is the CEO of Love the Animals Corp. Because he wants to provide love to the animals of the universe, he offers a Feed the Duck program. Okay. Now he's taking care of the he's providing the ducks with some heartfelt, emotional. Nutrition and stuff like that. Okay, so he's offering a program to feed the ducks. He's providing a service for the Duck Food Foundation he's providing a service for the ducks, and he's providing a service for the Duck Food Foundation. So we have revenue from the Duck Food Foundation, and possibly the ducks will also pay, but a slim chance, okay? One day, Bugs Bunny's sitting down, munching on a carrot, and he's thinking, hey, my mission is to provide love to the animals of the universe. Why am I only focused on the ducks? Why don't I focus on all the animals? Right? There's no reason why I should only be offering the ducks food. I should offer all the animals food. Look at my mission. I want to provide love to every animal of the universe. So he goes ahead and institutes a Feed the Animals program. Now he's providing a service for the Duck Food Foundation because the animals are part of the animals are part of the ducks. I'm sorry, because the ducks are part of the animals. And in addition, he's providing a service for the Animal Food Foundation because he's feeding all the animals, not just the ducks. So you have revenue from both. There you go. Now let me just do this one more time, guys. Okay? Again, the mission is to provide love to the animals of the universe. Okay? He offers a Feed the Duck program. He's providing a service for the ducks, and he's providing a service for the Duck Food Foundation. That equals revenue from the Duck Food Foundation. Next, he goes and offers, based on his mission, he decides he's going to offer a Feed the Animals program. Right? He's providing a service for the Duck Food Foundation and the Animal Food Foundation. Bang, there you go, revenue from both. Is that clear?